Hey everybody, Kim here, and I am messing around with my microphone because it doesn't want to go live. So now we're going to test and see if we really are live. Okay, at least on Facebook we are. I don't know about YouTube because I didn't pull that up yet. But we're going to assume that everything's a go. Interestingly enough, I was able to schedule this, and then right at the start time, my daughter reached over with a rash in her hand saying she needed Benadryl. So I had to quick tell the stream to delay it by a few minutes, and it wouldn't let me do more than I do like 12 minutes further out. So anyway, since I know people are going to be coming on late, I'm going to go ahead and get started for the people on the replay. And we have some huge news for Instagram marketers. Plus, we're going to go over our case study progress report. Now, normally we would keep these to just the progress report, but this is information that came out today hot off the presses. So I want to share it. So let's start with amazing news for those of you who really don't care about the progress report and just here for Instagram, because I know there's some of you. But if you want to think back, if you're new to marketing or social media marketing specifically, then you may or may not have heard of messenger marketing. Now, if you haven't, it's okay. I've got a video coming out in the next day or two that's going to talk more about this, plus the strategy. And one of the greatest features of messenger marketing is the use of bots, so it's automation, to send a message to someone that comments on your post on Facebook. And if you're on Facebook, you can and you're on the page. If you're in the group, you need to hop over to the page to be able to do this. But if you comment on this particular stream, you will be able to see my messenger bot send you a message. And the reason why this is amazing, and again, I'll talk more about it in the video. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it tomorrow, maybe Saturday, but is that it's like normally back in the day, we used to go comment with a certain word if you want me to send you, a coupon, or if you want to do something else. Now, you can do a lot of different things with that. I know there's strategies one way or the other and everything. And the hardest part with any type of Facebook marketing is the concept that your reach is very limited. So this actually works on ads as well, right? And that's the part that makes it just amazing, is that you don't have to have a link. You don't have to have a link at all in your post. And so you could run an ad without a link and send them straight into Messenger and give them all the information they want. So you're not taking them off Facebook. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes this will reduce the cost of ads. And that's what's been so great about it from the Facebook side. Well, Instagram, even though it's owned by Facebook, is a completely different, they own Instagram, but Instagram is built on its own framework, right? Its own systems, its own servers. And while for the last several years, Facebook's been slowly moving stuff over or taking over things or changing things, they haven't had the capability to let people have their messenger bots or bots in general connect via the API, which is how you have to do this, is through, and don't worry about what API means if you don't know what it means. It's just a connection. So again, until now, this was not a feature you can utilize on Instagram. Now, there's a couple of things you can do with Instagram. You can still send them into your messenger bots, but you could not send a private message when somebody commented on a post on Instagram. Well, today, that changes. So my favorite chatbot, and you're like, Kim, why don't you just tell me what it is? The reason why is because I want to keep this evergreen. And tomorrow, if I find out that my second favorite chatbot, which is like a fraction of the price, is going to do it, then I want to be able to change the link. But my favorite chatbot was finally approved by Instagram, which of course Instagram's owned by Facebook. And so it now allows this feature plus a lot more, right? And so if you're interested in that at all, make sure you sign up for the chatbot's free trial in the description on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, you have to click over to YouTube because it's an affiliate link. And then stay tuned for more information, because I'm going to have more videos and stuff. I just didn't want to pack it all into here since we already make these long enough. All right. So I also wanted to, before I hop into the update, remind you guys that I did a review of Appomise, and this is really cool. I love playing with it already. It's so much fun. I think there's a couple things with it I wish it would do better. And remember, for those who haven't seen or who have seen the review, I mentioned in there that this is bypassing, or not bypassing, but you're not utilizing the Google Play Marketplace or the Apple Store Marketplace or whatever it's called. I still haven't looked that up. And because of that, there are some things that you would be able to do in a normal, really expensive app that you can't necessarily do in this app. Like, one of the things that I noticed was that the apps from AppMice are more geared towards Android phones, because what they do on an iPhone, at least my daughter's iPhone, was that instead of having you install the app, you just basically bookmark the page, and you can't send notifications. At least I have not been able to do that. I have been able to send notifications and have them work perfectly fine in Android now, and the Kim error with the videos is corrected. So it was a Kim error. So if you're interested, this is perfect for DIY marketers. So, I love it because I can do my own stuff. You can build as many apps as I say that. The version I have has 100 apps. There is an option to upgrade to unlimited, which I might do because, I'm addicted to technology. Then it's also perfect for, of course, if you are an agency or you offer services, you could add this on, or start an agency or start offering services. In fact, I'm going to be doing an article hopefully next week about 9 services you can get started within 24 hours. 9 services you can offer within 24 hours. And this is one of them. Why? Because it takes a couple of hours maybe to learn it, test it, play with it, build a sample one, figure it out, and then you're ready to build. I mean, it is easy. And by a couple of hours, I mean, that's with your daughter coming up to you every 30 minutes wanting to eat something, every 15 minutes getting like text messages or hopping over and doing other stuff. So for those of you who aren't as distracted as me, it might not take that long, right? You could probably get through the videos pretty fast. I had to review a couple of things because I was like, it was giving me errors when I was doing stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot to do that. And that was more me than it was the training. And again, that's part of being distracted. And then, of course, anyone who wants to build an app, whether you want to do it for your church or, whatever group you're in, you want to just do stuff and be able to send out notifications or text messages. Text messages, if you want to send text messages, you have to connect it through a third-party platform. So, again, if this is something you're interested in, if you want to build an app, if you're interested in building apps, if you're interested in offering as a service, check out the review. It's in the YouTube channel. I don't have the link off the top of my head, but there is a link to the actual product, affiliate link, in the description on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, you have to hop over to YouTube. Sorry. Now, all right, so let's go over the goals from last week. And I made this part 1 and part 2 because Marjorie, sorry, I do remember your name. I was just looking at my phone because it was flashing at me. So Marjorie had mentioned that the font last week was a little bit hard to read, and I've always thought that font was hard to read, so I'm surprised somebody finally said something. So I tried a different template here, and I didn't get a chance to change colors or do any of that kind of stuff, so I just used what was in there. And I think part of the problem is I was putting too much on one page, right? The other thing is that, like, even though I can resize this, I have the background there, which I'm eventually going to change this. So I'm using Streamlabs OBS before I jump into the goals. And part of the reason why is because I can add like stuff like this. Or would you see my little pup down there? Where it says, like, subscribe, click the notification bell. Hint, hint. Or if you're on, and then I can even take it away. And then if you're on Facebook, I can do this. I can do it anyway. You're going to see it on YouTube too. But, I can do these fun little GIFs on here that I can't do with just Zoom. Well, I might be able to. I don't know. Zoom's got a lot of functionality, but it would not let me stream to multiple locations. And then when I tried to connect it to either Streamlabs or anywhere else to be able to stream to multiple locations, it required a third-party tool that would not connect the audio. In fact, it pretty much crashed my system. The entire computer just gone. I had to get in, uninstall it, and then it would start working again. So clearly my old computer does not like whatever software that was. So that's why I really like Streamlabs OBS. Now, there are ways that you can use it, and that's the main feature of it, is that you can pull in not only that stuff, but I could have like a chat feature here. I could pulling in data here. I could have basically kind of like a news style thing, but it's more for gamers to do so they can bring in multiple pieces of information. And ultimately, I want to build that way. So when you guys are on here and you're commenting, that your comments can show up live for everybody on multiple channels and, all that kind of stuff. But it's going to take some time to learn all that. It's going to take some time. So I'm starting off slow, and I just put a lovely green flowy background. So I don't have a video camera that'll work on this computer, unfortunately. So it'll probably be, I'm way too stubborn to go buy a new one. Not only that, but the prices have jumped significantly. So I'm going to wait and see if they cool down. Hopefully closer to Christmas, maybe next year. Who knows? Anyway, so let's talk about the goals from last week. So part one, my goals were to post 3 articles on the website. I posted 1, and I did get 3 others in drafts, which are almost all complete. I just didn't get them moved over to the site and scheduled. So we know 3 articles is still tough for me. I think I did 1 last week, 1 this week. So 1 seems to be a pretty standard number. Now, I also had scheduled 2 pins per day on Tailwind for Pinterest and 2 for Instagram. So I used Tailwind for both Pinterest and Instagram. And what's interesting about that is that I actually had to go in order to do this and have it reschedule my schedule, essentially, because what Tailwind does is it analyzes your existing content. Now, so if you're like, hey, I'm just starting out, it may just come up with 2 times. So I said, okay, I told Tailwind, hey, I want to post on average 2 times on Pinterest a day. So make me a schedule. And so it picks 2 times every day that are optimal times that are going to be better for reach. Now, the challenge with that is, 1, if you do videos, which many of mine were videos seem to do better than just standard pin, like regular picture pins right now. And that's not uncommon because most people will just do pins and it's not a big deal. They'll pin a picture, and that's really common. So Pinterest is pushing video, and they're really pushing their idea pins. I have no idea pins yet. The way that sounded was kind of funny. But I'm going to work on that eventually. In fact, I had that as a tacked on goal and then decided to take it off because I just had a lot going on. My daughter's finishing up swim stuff. We've got school stuff going on. And yeah. So I did do this, right? So I did do this. I scheduled them every day, but some of the posts on Instagram didn't post correctly. And what I found out, I do not know if it's Tailwind or if it's Instagram or if it's just, or what it is. But I went to Canva to create a video pin. And Canva told me that Instagram wanted it to be basically a full-size HD portrait size, right? And I'm like, okay, that's perfect. Pinterest wants the same thing, so that would be great because I could do both. But then I put it into Instagram, and instead of it telling me when I loaded it, it told me when it tried to pin it, or when it tried to post it onto Instagram, that, sorry, wrong size, Instagram doesn't want that size. So I went to Google and I said, hey, what are the best sizes for Instagram? And what came up was not what Canva told me. So I suspect that while that size might work on Instagram, and I've tried this before, so I think Canva is wrong. So Canva has the wrong details for the size. It's really easy to fix, sort of, is that you just go into Canva and instead don't use their recommended size. Google the size and use the size that you find is best and optimal for that. And then just start with a custom size instead of an Instagram video pin. So that was it. Once I figured out that's what was going on, I went in there and changed it. And so I think I missed maybe 1 post on Instagram, maybe. Now, the third thing I was supposed to do was finish the high ticket affiliate ebook. I'm almost done, down to fine tuning. In fact, if you can, please go into the Facebook group and vote on your favorite title. I put 3 in there. They're very similar, but I want to know which one would appeal to you because that's what I'm going to use for the title. They all mean the same thing, right? They're all the same thing. They're just different versions of it, and they're very, very similar. So it's just a matter of which one you think would be more appealing to you, because sometimes people look at it and say, oh, that's not realistic. And sometimes people go look at it and go, oh, you know what? That's what my goal is. That's what I want. So I want to see which one is the closest. And of course, it's still going to be testing when it comes down to it. Then finish loading affiliate course and cleaning up. I did not make any progress on this. And the main problem with this is the links and some of the sections that I had developed already need extra videos, which Facebook doesn't support. So I can't keep the videos all together. So I'm like, I have to do a part 1 and a part 2 and etc. And like one of them is going to have like 8 parts. So I'm trying to figure out whether I want to just redo that. And if people are interested in more information, I send them over to, the website or whatever. Or if I want to just put it in the parts, and then of course figure out how to connect all the links and everything too. So this is kind of the challenge when you are putting it into Facebook, which I didn't anticipate so many problems. In fact, I have to say that while I've repeatedly, when I will post something on Facebook, even if it's in our group, if it has an affiliate link on it, it might stay there for a day or two, and then it gets marked as spam. Now, I don't know if that's somebody in the group being a jerk, or if that is legitimately Facebook just being Facebook, which wouldn't surprise me, because I'm in another group. She was doing a live and she had an affiliate link to Amazon, and that should have been flagged like immediately. And I know that other people have had it happen, but then lots of people say, oh no, it's fine, you can do it all day long. So again, I'm not really sure why, but I can tell you that any quality affiliate marketing course tells you not to put an affiliate link in Facebook, right? So I'm like, I don't know why you would do that in the first place, but why? I mean, because she's putting it in the group, she's already got all of our emails, so it's no big deal. But I'm going, I don't know why you would risk that, because Facebook really does hate affiliate links. That's not just Kim observation. That is a Kim observation, but with other stuff. So anyway, that's one of the challenges I'm facing. So part 2, the next one was create initial quiz and post in group. Now I'm still compiling questions. In fact, I came up with a really good one today, and I was like, oh, you know what? I need more questions. I need a few more questions to figure this out. So I'm still kind of compiling it, but I might put this on hold because the only purpose was to help direct people, and I have no plan to funnel people into the quiz yet. And so I'm like, I don't know. It's just one of those, it's a lot of work for basically targeting a super cold audience, right? And a super, super cold audience, and then dumping them into training that they may or may not like, that they may not be ready for. And so it's really difficult to come up with that, for lack of a better term. And it's basically a quiz funnel where you're having them go through this quiz so that you can point them in the right direction. It's a funnel, right? It's a quiz funnel. So I'm still kind of working on that. Now, I'm looking over to make sure that this is still working. Okay. So the next one was record at least 4 new videos to schedule during the week. I did 3, and I would have had 4, except that I recorded it, but I didn't load it. I didn't schedule it. And that was because it's on Messenger bots. And I don't know why. It's just something, I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to hold off and put that on for next week, because I wanted to be able to put it with my 9 services thing that you could start. And then today I see the notification about the chatbot that I love going, they got approved for Instagram. And I'm going, oh my gosh, I know he said 7 days. And so that was part of what was going to delay me till next week anyway. Was because I was like, well, he said 7 days, but that was like 3 days ago. And so I was like, well, maybe I'll just go ahead and hold off till next week. So I had one recorded and ready to go, and then decided not to do it. So I would have had 4. So I'm pretty confident 4 is a good number. Then test live streaming one other day. This is a lot more challenging than I anticipated. So to be here on Thursday nights, even though I have it on my calendar, it's scheduled. I tell everybody I know about it. It's been like this forever. I think I took 2 weeks off when I was out of town, and we were in the middle of fires actually, so we would never be able to do it anyway. And then I think I may have taken it off when I was sick too, right? When I was going through all my asthma stuff for a couple of weeks. Other than that, for the most part, we've been going strong for quite a while now. And my family cannot remember. I'm like, it's Thursday. And they're like, so? And I'm like, Thursdays I have my webinar. And maybe they don't understand I'm actually giving the webinar, because I listen to a lot of webinars too, right? I was on a live webinar earlier today listening to it. He was actually kind of cracking me up. So he was talking about, he's funny. He's like, basically, you reach out to somebody on Instagram, which we're going to talk about a similar strategy. So he talked about reaching out to somebody on Instagram and saying, hey, let me help you generate more leads, right? And I'm like, well, that works. I'm sure it does. There's plenty of people that do that. But for me, in my mind, I'm going, what would be the most effective and most beneficial for everybody involved, right? And so we have, literally, I promote a tool that will let you search Instagram for specific features that you're looking for. You can reach out through, Messenger, Instagram, whatever. You can now use a Messenger bot / Instagram bot to, help them build, and then of course offer that as a service or something. So there's like this whole I'm going to go through the whole thing. It's one of the videos I want to do next week. And sorry for anybody who thinks that I should keep my videos under 20 minutes. Not going to happen when I do those, right? Because, and this is the problem with YouTube, is everybody's like, oh, if you're on YouTube, you should just be capturing people, bringing them in, and then sending them somewhere else. And yeah, that works. And I might do that. If it ends up being an hour long, I might turn it into a webinar and then just have people opt in so I know, and then I can email, follow up with them by email. I don't know. We'll see how long it turns out to be and everything else. But anyway, so that's what I'm trying to do. So the live streaming on the other day is a lot more challenging. So it's just juggling the schedules and doing everything and trying to piece everything together. It's just crazy. So anyway, so like I said, most people, they may not realize I actually do these, because I swear, other than that, people love to tell me, for those of you, I'm like, I get frustrated some days, and I don't ever hold my PhD above anyone else. I do not believe, from the bottom of my heart, I do not believe that I'm smarter than anybody else because I have a PhD. In fact, I would argue that people who have not gone through a PhD may have more knowledge and practical experience than I do. And they may be smarter because they didn't do the PhD. Because I did my PhD, and I do not feel like it was a huge value, other than I get to have people call me doctor, right? And I don't even have people do that. In fact, somebody said something the other day. They called my phone and they left a message, and they're like, wait, I think I'm calling the right person, but, and then I was talking to them later. They're like, I didn't know what to say because it said doctor, and I didn't know you were a doctor. And I'm looking at it and I'm going, I'm not oh yeah, I am a doctor. I'm not a medical doctor, because that's what most people think of. And that's what I thought of too. I was like, no, yeah, I've got a PhD. And I told them, I said, yeah, I put that on my message, not to be like all cocky and hey, I got a PhD. I said, but when I first got my phone, I was getting bombarded by people that were calling, and I didn't want to go and get a new number or anything, because I liked the number. And I was like, oh, what am I going to do? So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to leave the message that they've called Dr. Kim Christian. And if they leave a message, then they get my attention. But like 99% of the time, people will not leave a message. It's like the greatest thing ever. So even if you don't have a PhD, you may want to try it just to see if it works, right? Spammers won't leave it. Scammers won't leave it. I don't know. They just don't. They're like, oh my gosh, I called the doctor's office or something. I have no idea what it is. They're just like, in fact, the person that said that to me, she's like, oh my gosh, as soon as I heard that, I figured, oh my gosh, you're so busy, I shouldn't leave a message. I'm like, hey, there you go. That worked. All right. So let's talk about why this seems so challenging. Why does this seem so challenging? Yeah, this, for some reason, when I was reading it, doesn't seem right to me, but it is. Now, when you're starting out with a massive project, this is a massive project. People don't think that this is a massive project, but it is. It's a massive project. I'm going on multiple social media things. I'm trying to implement, and I'm going a lot. I'm probably going slower than some people who, if you were just dedicated to Facebook, you might be able to build up faster. But I already know that because that I am in a make money online type of niche, even though I'm trying to help other people do marketing and everything else, I kind of fit into that, right? The social media channels. So two things with that. One, I'm business to business then, right? Oh, you're like, wait, I'm not in business. Yes, you are. If you are trying to market something, if you're trying to start a business, even if you aren't already one, it's a business to business type of, business essentially. And so that makes it, one, harder to be on social media altogether because it's business to business. Two, because it's in the make money online niche, none of the social media platforms like that. They want their money. They do not want somebody who's making money through their platform without them getting their cut, which is fine. It's just that the whole idea is I'm supposed to be normal. And I don't want to spend a bunch of money on Facebook ads that don't work, right? Facebook's changed the way they do that. I still haven't even researched it because I'm like so not interested in messing around with that right now. And the holidays are coming up. So again, my goal to the end of the year is not to waste a bunch of money on ads that are never going to work. And again, that does not apply to my other businesses. It's just for this goal. So this is huge. This is massive. I'm trying to do a lot more than the normal person would do. And so while I'm trying to be normal, I'm also trying to test and see what will work and what won't work. I'm going to tell you now that things have changed, right? Things have changed a lot. In just a couple of weeks, things have changed. And some good, some challenges, right? So this is just the kind of the way it goes, is that you've got this huge, massive project and things are going to go awry. And you just have to keep going and keep testing and keep fine tuning. You know, one of the things that I fine tune, it's really tough for me to get 3 posts up. I'm going to have to strive for 1. Now that's going to tweak my goals. I might need to start saying, hey, how do I get 2 people per thing, you know, and rerun those numbers at some point, but we'll reassess again, probably at the end of the month, because I'm not going to start running numbers until then, because I'm still getting things going, right? I'm still kind of starting things and getting them going and figuring it all out. And even though I know how to do each one of them, it's how do you do each one of them the most optimal way. And that's what I'm working on specifically for this. Now, I've obviously promoted my e-commerce businesses before, and I've done YouTube videos in the past on a completely different channel that had way more subscribers. And I made the decision to ditch that channel and start this channel and be branded to my brand, right? So I did a bunch of testing last year and the year before. And actually, I guess last year is when I kind of started to brand a little bit as resources. And for some reason, it is a lot harder to build this channel now than it was my other channel. Now, I only had a few hundred subscribers, but that's like 4 or 5 times more than what I have now, right? 6 times more than I have now. And I'm like, you know, it's kind of a bummer. I kind of want to go back to that one, but at the same time, I'm like, no, I want everything to be branded this way. And that one I can't change. And that was because it was connected to something in Google, and they wouldn't allow me to change it. So I decided, okay, fine, I'm going to go ahead and just be dedicated to this channel. And that's the decision I made. I'm sticking with it, even though a year later, I've only done like 10 new subscribers or something. People are still checking that other one too. Like every now and again, I post a video there just to kind of see what's going on. And I'll have way more views and likes and new subscribers. And I'm going, what is going on? So I might have to see if I can post something there and have people come to this channel, right? Be like, hey, this is what's going on. Come to this channel. Because everybody followed and then they fell away either out of the Facebook. We have people in our Facebook group that have left, right? They've left Facebook altogether. And so they're like, well, how do I find you? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope you have the new channel because I'm not posting anywhere else. So this is, again, one of those omnipresence things that we're trying to build here. And by we, I mean I. So again, this is a massive project, so things go awry. Now, keep in mind, I'm also only available a maximum of 35 hours a week, right? So live, I meant to put life, jobs, or in my case, other businesses also get in the way, right? So we've got all of our things that we're doing day to day that are just kind of bogging everything down. Now, maintenance for my various activities also plays a role. Training, research, and keeping up with what's working. You know, then I test strategies. So those are other things that I'm doing that are part of that 35 hours. So when you go, wait, it shouldn't take you that long to post 3 posts. I'm like, it probably wouldn't if I was just posting those. If I was just doing those activities, it probably wouldn't. But I'll tell you what, creating the pins, creating the assets, that all takes time, right? And I'm not doing it bulk right now because I don't have time for that. I can't schedule 2 hours to just dedicate to creating the pins for the week because I haven't created the content yet. So I'm still playing catch up. So that's another thing, is that if you already have a lot of content, you're going to be better off doing this than what I'm doing right now. Now, there were some good wins this week, right? So no massive numbers or anything. I'm going to go, oh my gosh, I'm a quarter of the way. No massive numbers in a week, but I did get a new subscriber. Yay, on YouTube. And I was excited about that because, hey, you know what? YouTube is kind of, I still, on my other channel, I still get people who comment and click and do stuff. And I think I stopped, I don't even remember the last time I posted on that. It might have been in January, just because I was like promoting a big product and I wanted people to see it. And for some reason they still go there, right? Now, So that's a big deal to me as a new subscriber. But what's even more interesting is that I went a long time with no subscribers, and then I've had like 2 or 3 in the last couple months. So I was excited about that. And then now that I'm pushing out more content, I'm hoping to have more. Now, Pinterest saw an increase in activity as well, which was kind of interesting to me. One, because I'm, of course, posting on it every day. But I also saw a click to my site, which is amazing. I gotta tell you guys. So I have multiple Pinterest accounts as well. I get a lot of outbound clicks. I get a... Sorry, I'm looking at my screen where it shows it on YouTube, and it keeps like getting darker for some reason. So I don't know why. Anyway, but I get a lot of outbound clicks on my other one. In fact, I have like 200,000 views or something. It's something stupid high. And you think that I'm an influencer there. And I'm looking at that. I'm going, outbound links. Oh, yeah, I got like 1,000 outbound links. And I looked at, I'm like, not one to any of my assets. Which I've noticed this, that I'm like, you know what's, it's weird to me that I'm like, I'm not seeing a whole lot of people clicking on my pins and going to my site, but I'm getting traffic from Pinterest, and they're coming from other people that are pinning content from my site, or from sharing a pin that I put in there. So like in Tailwind communities or something. And I was just listening to an update in one of my Pinterest groups where she had mentioned that. So I'm going to have to dive back into that and see what she says. Cause I'm going, that was something I had already noticed. And I'm going, this is weird. Why would, and it's, so Pinterest doesn't really care about your pins if they're going to your assets. I'm like, so do you claim your site, or just don't claim your site? Claim a different site. Claim a site that you're not going to be using a lot, and then pin a bunch of stuff from something else. I don't know what the trick is. So I'm going to watch it and see what they say. But anyway, because of this, that's not the only thing. So Pinterest has made such massive changes. It's literally all testing right now for everybody across the board. Big brands, little brands, everybody. Because when they did that mass account shutdown a month and a half ago or whatever, I'm telling you, whatever they did was a huge algorithm adjustment then. And that everybody is seeing weird stuff happen with that. So Pinterest is interesting. I'm happy to see that there is at least a click to my site, because that gives me hope. And then I'm like, okay, well, soon I'll be doing, I'm only doing 2 pins a day right now. And eventually I'll be doing, 3 pins, 4 pins, 5 pins, 10 pins. And then if they're all going to my assets, if they're all going to my content, whether it's on YouTube or on Little Biz Resources or, any of my other sites and stuff, then that's traffic that I'm bringing in. And that's what the goal is, right? So for this, I don't always pin everything straight to Little Biz Resources, because I don't know, I feel like that's spammy. But at the same time, I don't pin anything unless it's to my assets. So I have like another site that's dedicated to CPA, and I don't have it claimed, but I put stuff for there too, right? So Instagram had some momentum as well. I was really surprised. Now, not a ton. Nobody really clicked through that I know of or anything, but I had like some engagement on there, and I think I saw some more reach on it, and I was like, what? I have never really done Instagram. I mean, my daughter has, and she can trump me any day of the week, but she's also in a completely different niche, as in kids, talking to other kids and commenting on other posts about kids. Well, for kids, I should say. So I told her, I said, when she gets a little bit older, I said, when you hit 13, you're going to be managing my Instagram account. By the way, she's got a ways to go though. All right. And then Facebook had some more reach. So I was excited about that as well. Now, I've been testing some software to help me with YouTube, and that appears successful. It's only 1 day into it, and I don't think I get statistics for a couple of days. So I don't know for sure, but if and when, which I think it will, the biggest problem was the software kept changing, and I wasn't keeping up to date with it. And so I thought I had it set up right, and I went back in yesterday, and I was like, oh, this isn't set up right. So I tested it on a brand new video, and we're going to see how well it works, if anything happens with it, etc. And if I, once I get information on that and it's successful, I will definitely share that in its own dedicated video. So next week's goals. Oh my gosh, I might keep this under an hour. Next week's goals, 2 posts on Little Biz Resources website. We know 3 is too many for me. I can only do 1. So let's see if I can push myself to 2. I think 4 videos on YouTube is fine. I'm going to live stream an extra day. I don't know what day yet. I'm thinking, so my husband's home from work. He's home from work this week, but he was gone for a couple days. And then anyway, so he's on vacation this week, just not with me. And I have Tuesdays and Fridays, he's home and in the basement with me. So I can't live stream on those days. So Thursdays, I can in the evenings, and then I might be able to pick another day in the evening, but I'm trying to get one during the daytime. So I'm thinking probably Monday, but Mondays are really crazy chaotic. So it's, I don't know yet. So we'll see what I can figure out. That was the challenge this week, was I was going to do it on Monday, and then I fell asleep because Mondays are really, really challenging. And when you do 50 things and all of a sudden you fall asleep in your chair, that's the way it happens. So I was prepping it, and then I fell asleep in my chair. It was nice, right? So then I'm going to continue with 2 posts or pins per day on Instagram and Pinterest. And that's because of the algorithm. If you start increasing too fast, it can tweak with things. So and I don't know, Instagram may not care, but Pinterest is like that. If you go from 2 a day to 10 a day, not that I could anyway, but if you were to do that, Pinterest is going to take notice and they're going to start to minimize your reach. So I don't have enough content going out. If I do 2 posts on Little Biz Resources during the week, that's 2 new things I can do. And then I'm still trying to pin back some of my older stuff too, which I don't have a whole lot of older stuff. And then stuff to YouTube. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm still doing that. And then of course, when I'm using Tailwind, like I mentioned before, and when I'm pinning on, or when I'm posting on Instagram, and you can do this either from Pinterest or Instagram, but I'm doing it from Instagram since they're connected. And I click it to also post on Facebook at the same time. So I'm getting additional posts on Facebook. So I'm getting my RSS feed posts onto Facebook from both YouTube and my website. And that's so it's automated posting there from those. Then I'm, of course, doing my lives on there as well. And then I'm posting the Instagram posts there as well. And the videos. So either one. And so they're both going onto Instagram and Facebook. So I'm hitting 3 of them pretty much at the same time by doing that. Then I'm going to finish the high ticket ebook. I just need to fine tune it, kind of flush out a little bit. And so I hope by next Thursday I'll have it completely ready for anybody who's interested. And then I'm going to continue to figure out the affiliate course. So those are my goals. And I think they're very reasonable. And like I said, today is, I lost my mouse. So today is the 12th, right? I should know that. But so today's the 12th. I'm thinking, well, let's see how many days there are, how many times we're going to be here. So there's the 12th, the 19th, and the 26th. So why don't we aim for September 2nd? That'll be the very beginning of September. We'll start looking at actual numbers and see if I'm even getting any traffic to my site, right? Because getting activity on Facebook, getting activity on Pinterest and on Instagram and on YouTube is great. But it's not doing me any good if I'm not actually getting the traffic to my site. So I'll be able to look at analytics and we'll be able to know more. Now, the problem is that I'm running some other stuff and it's showing, I was looking at it today and I'm going, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to figure out how to narrow it down to just littlebizresources.com because I have some subdomains that are getting hit with traffic and it's horrible traffic. But I'm thinking I might actually stop that because I'm like, I think that might be hurting my site. So I might have to put them on a different domain altogether. And that'll help too. But that right now it's messing up my numbers. So I have no idea to tell hundreds of people have viewed your page today. And I'm like, no, that's the wrong one. I wish, right? I wish. But it gives me a high bounce rate on there too. So I'm like, okay, I think that is not a good thing. So I need to take it off of the subdomain and move it somewhere else. So anyway, that is it for today. I'm sorry if anybody came on, which normally we'd have at least, 1 or 2 people hop on. It does not showing me that. And I can't, unfortunately, because I'm already using 2 screens to run this, I can't pull up YouTube or Facebook and see anything. It should be coming in through the chat. And let me refresh the chat and see if again, it's the same thing. I don't know. It's not pulling anything in. So I don't know. Maybe nobody showed up today. Maybe I messed it up. Maybe I'm not even live. I don't know. I'll find out later, right? So let's go back real quick. If you made it this far, please, if you haven't subscribed, like this if you could, and hit the notification bell. And if you don't like it, please don't hit the dislike. It hurts my feelings. It hurts lots of people's feelings. Don't hit the dislike button unless you really, really, really hate it. And if you do, maybe you don't even hit the button. Maybe you just stop watching it, right? And then, of course, if you're on Facebook, some loves, some ha-has are okay too. Don't cry. Don't do the crying one. Though if it were my daughter, she'd probably do the crying one because she thinks that one's funny. So, all right. Well, thanks for watching this. If you're on the replay or if you're live, I apologize again. And if you hop into the Facebook group, there's a link in the description. And we're going to do this again, same time next week, both YouTube and Facebook. Thanks.